Wrong ones part ways, right ones find their way. Welcome back to Improve Better Daily. The article I am sharing with you today is 3 Small Ways to Cold Shoulder Men, Surpassing All Sweet Words. Love is easy, but getting along is hard. You can quickly fall in love with someone and live with them, but in the days that follow, the real challenges are just beginning. The trivialities of life will quickly wear away the previous passion. Days together are inevitably filled with friction. Differences in personality, habits, and beliefs can become the spark for a war. If you want love to last, you must learn to handle various conflicts encountered in life. When dealing with men, women should not always yield to them, because the more you give in, the more they take advantage. They become less appreciative. Smart women know when to cold shoulder men, not always agreeing with their opinions. Have your own opinions. Women, when facing someone they like, do things unconditionally. As long as they like it, even if this man is not very good to them, this woman will treat him seriously and carefully to make him love her more. But things often turn out the opposite. The more you do this, the less men care about you. So, everyone, when dealing with men, you must learn to say no, not always agreeing to men's demands. This way, men will be more focused on understanding what you're thinking. In the course of living together, you will inevitably encounter disagreements. Many women, for the sake of the so-called bigger picture, are often afraid to express their opinions, always yielding to men. Living in such an environment for a long time, they forget that they are also the masters of this family, with the power to make decisions on many things. Men gradually get used to their elevated status, becoming more and more autocratic, ignoring women more and more. If you think that by always accommodating him, letting him take charge of everything, he will appreciate you, in the end, he not only won't appreciate you, but you will also lose confidence in yourself. When 2 people are together, don't hold each other too high, and don't underestimate yourself. Don't always agree with men's opinions. Have your own opinions. Dare to oppose and question. Only then will men truly respect you. Don't always agree with men's requests. Learn to say no. The more you love someone, the more you need to know your limits, know what you should and shouldn't do. Many women, when facing someone they love, tend to become overly soft-hearted. No matter what request the man makes, they will agree without hesitation, even if they resist internally at times. But thinking that refusing will upset the man, they reluctantly agree. But the more obedient and sensible you are, the more unhappy you will make yourself. Because you are always doing things you don't want to do. You are always shouldering pressures that you shouldn't bear. And he has gotten used to your compliance. When one day you resist his requests a little, he will be very angry. The closer the relationship, the more you need to learn to refuse reasonably. Being too compliant will only make you sink deeper and deeper, and life will become more and more bitter. Women always think that as long as they are wholeheartedly good to men, men will cherish them even more. But men are rational. They will remember your kindness at the beginning, but over time, they will think that everything you do is willingly, not something forced by them. So, you must learn to refuse men, not always being understanding. This way, men won't easily conquer you, and your attractiveness will last longer. Don't always forgive men's mistakes. Have principles. Love needs to be jointly maintained by both parties. If one party betrays, the other must learn to leave. Especially for women, when facing a man they like, all mistakes can be forgiven. In daily life, if a man makes some small mistakes, he can be forgiven. But if the mistake is big enough to lead to betrayal, then the woman must leave. If you forgive him, he won't correct himself. But this kind of thing will happen again in the future. Many men are already used to women obeying them, used to women being obedient. So, when conflicts arise between you, regardless of who is right or wrong, he will blame all the mistakes on you, because he knows that in the relationship, you care more about him. So, grasping your inner thoughts, knowing that you won't argue with him too much, he won't deeply understand that it's because you love him, that you are willing to tolerate him. At this time, women must not yield to him because of being soft-hearted. If communication is ineffective, don't continue to communicate. Learn to cold shoulder him until he actively admits his mistakes. Because many men, when you yield to them, they won't appreciate it, but instead, take advantage. When women learn to ignore men and cold shoulder them, when men refuse to admit their mistakes, he will feel a crisis again and fear losing you. I often hear this kind of argument: which man doesn't make mistakes? Don't be too particular, just let it go. If someone around you advises you like this, it's best to keep your distance from him, because this person is clearly harming you. Indeed, no one is perfect, we all make mistakes. But that doesn't mean all mistakes can be forgiven. Small flaws and shortcomings are not a big deal. Even if he never corrects them, you can just scold him. As long as he treats you well, you can still go on with life. But everyone has their own bottom line and principles. If your partner violates your principles, does something that crosses the line, then this mistake is obviously not worth forgiving. For example, infidelity, which is intolerable in relationships. If a man who asks for forgiveness for infidelity, he is deliberately trying to make trouble for you. There are many other situations. Perhaps the situation is not so serious, but as long as it goes against your principles, you must not easily forgive. Express your attitude, make him realize the seriousness of the problem, and show a determination to repent and take action. Blind forgiveness will only make him keep making mistakes, until it becomes a habit. In relationships, methods matter. You can't act blindly. In a relationship, please don't lower your posture to cater to the other party. If he doesn't love you, even if you please him, he won't appreciate it, and will think your love is cheap. Women shouldn't sacrifice their self-esteem and pride for love. Always remember, keep 3 points of dignity for yourself. Sometimes, appropriately cold shouldering a man, and showing him some color, can actually enhance the relationship between you. That's it for today's sharing. Thanks to the member friends. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me your feelings. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. Looking forward to meeting you again.